Everyone reacts to GDP, the headline GDP number. The professional traders have already predicted that number and ignore that headline number. Their job is to predict what's going to happen and not read what number is actually published. GDP is history. GDP tells you where the economy was, not where it's going. GDP is a lagging indicator big time. Markets move before the GDP print, and trading the GDP is you just being a reactive monkey. Now, how do professional traders actually front run that GDP headline print and know exactly what's going to happen? Professional traders at institutions look at business surveys, specifically the ISM business surveys. They have two business surveys which come out in the first week of every month. We have the Purchasing Managers Index, the PMI, and then we have the NMI, which is the non-manufacturing index or the services index. In the manufacturing index, you're going to see a list of industries and a list of sectors which are expanding or contracting in terms of whether they're getting new orders or whether they have increasing business activity. Same thing for services. You get a list of new orders and business activity. Now, in these business surveys, you can see a list of the industries or the sectors which have an increase in new orders relative to last month and last year. Same thing in services. So these are two surveys which you can read. These are business surveys which come out on the first week of every month. Professional traders read these surveys and obsess over them in order to confirm how they should be positioned in each industry and each sector. In addition to that, we have a Michigan consumer sentiment, which will tell you the overall sentiment of the consumer, how confident the consumer is in this market. Right after Trump's tariffs, we had a huge tank in consumer sentiment, and as a result of that, we saw retailers, cheap retailers like Dollar General, Ollie's, bargain stores. These stores rallied hard. So they look at these business surveys, they look at your employment numbers, and they look at jobless claims. Now, they don't look at the employment numbers in the way you think. A lot of retail traders obsess over the non-farmers payroll number, but the professional traders already know what that number is going to be. Professional traders also track jobless claims, which is just basically an insurance claim people file after they have been fired from their job. They file for a jobless claim, and that metric is trackable. So depending on if we have claims going up or down, you can easily front run or predict what the employment number is going to be. So just by looking at jobless claims, the non-farm payroll number, business reports which tell you if businesses are getting new orders and what business activity is right now in the US, and the Michigan consumer sentiment, professional traders can front run GDP, and that's exactly the indicators professional traders look at to decide how they should be positioned. If your process requires looking at the GDP headline number, you are missing the entire build-up big time. Attached in the description below, I have a PDF which tells you if GDP is accelerating or deaccelerating and how you can actually position for that and front run that big time. These signals have successfully predicted whenever GDP has crashed big time since 1955 with a 100% accuracy. These indicators are attached in the description below. It's a free PDF. By the time the GDP print comes out, the trade is already crowded big time. You have a much smaller upside and a much bigger downside in that scenario because the trade is so crowded. So in summary, markets trade growth expectation and not the GDP headline.